Stock of the day, thought we'd take a look at Nufarm, the big grain producer, or the seed producer, if you like, seed bank. Nufarm's profits and revenue fell for the first half, with profits sinking 67% to $49 million, revenue down 10% compared with last year. Calling the conditions challenging, CEO Greg Hunt is forecasting a stronger second half, giving earnings guidance between $350 and $390 million. Shareholders will see a 4-cent dividend. Daniel, what did you think of the Nufarm result? It's had a bit of a spotlight because of some of the recent acquisitions that probably haven't done too well.
Yeah, that's certainly one point, Koshi. And the next is, I would say, the overall, results we've been getting around the crop market in general. So if we look at all the way back to even the Horizon result, talking about the weakness in bulk, in crop volumes, Elders, the same thing. And what Elders and Nufarm have in common is obviously the crop protection products. And that's just been really, weak result in terms of not only are the volumes of the product being sold much lower, but obviously as a kind of a commoditized type of product, the prices are heading lower as well. So I think there's weakness on quite a few fronts, partially due to weather, but partially due to the fact that farmers were conservatively, winding down the size of crop cell planting because of the El Nino forecast. So issues on a lot of fronts.
The Bureau of Meteorology stuffing it up for all the farmers. Just that one call that we were going to have a dry summer and go back into drought, the ripple effect has been enormous, that one wrong call, hasn't it?
And the issue with agriculture is it's such a working capital heavy business that you simply can't go through the risk of investing all this money in crop and all the capital that comes with it. And then if you're losing, obviously, yield due to weather, it's a significantly poor result. And that's kind of like a permanent loss funded by debt. So you can understand why the farmers, listen so carefully to the forecasts. But like you said, Koshi, it's just an incredibly tough business. But yeah, with Nufarm, still got $1.2 billion in net debt on the balance sheet, which kind of surprised me. So just the weakness at the moment. Look, inventory levels as well is a concern in terms of the products they hold. So there could be further discounting, just not where I'd want to be right now, even though the stock has been sold down quite a bit.
Okay. Mark?
Yeah, I think if you look through GrainCorp, Elders, IPL results, you could pretty much just replace the company name and almost release the same report. What has happened though is they've all had these sharp downturns and then ground back to where they were. And essentially, it is backward looking. All of this stuff. There's seed technologies that they had a reasonable result there. This result's really, a lot of it's driven by the inventory reduction. So they're just selling it out at a loss. But they got rid of 20% of that. We bought some this morning. This whole sector really is. Apart from that Bureau of Meteorology, and not too many farmers really use the bomb anymore. I think there's a lot of private sector. I've spoken to some people in Canberra. They've said a lot of their premier meteorologists have actually shifted to the private sector, which is why they've been quite inconsistent.
I've got a couple of farming mates who use a Danish
weather
forecast. I'm going, Danish?
Yeah.
And they say, well, in our experience, it's been the best forecasting, even for Australia.
Yeah, and now we're back up to over 70% chance of La Nina. So we've ended up with the worst of both worlds for both the US and Australia, basically, because we got the weather, the weather that was supposed to be hitting the US has ended up hitting here, essentially.
Right.
But the farmers were very conservative. So I think it is at the high end of the leverage range. Winter crops have all gone in. I think we'll see improvements. I think we'll just see this grind back up. I think Citigroup already reaffirmed its price target around $5.80. It's not a roaring buy, but look, we've been playing. I think this has been a very repeatable trade, both for like I said, Elders, GrainCorp, and IPL, where we've bought on the weakness, and then it's rallied probably 10 to 15% out of those lows. So,
right. Okay.
So it's a bit more of a short-term trade.
It's not Okay, you're keen on ag stocks now, and it's a
We
push into
we like ag stocks. We've got a decent outlook, but there's been with this reporting, because there's been backward looking and they've been quite bleak.
Right.
But it's a very different outlook. It's very positive. So you're sort of taking advantage of the fact that people who aren't watching the ag stocks closely, you can buy
Right.
that dip. So so yeah, we still hold elders. We switched out of some elders into Nufarm today just because of the pricing. We recently sold Grain Corp, but we've done very well out of those this year. So
All right. So a buy on for the short term for Nufarm for you.